Once you have one or more trackers up and running, MyTrax GPS allows you to view travel histories and pull reporting on passenger counts if you have the passenger count feature enabled. In this video, we'll show you how to access this data. To start, click on Travel History under the Reports section of the left-hand menu. This will take you to your travel history logs. To view the travel history for a particular tracker on a particular date, simply select the date, and then select the tracker whose history you would like to see. The time span is set by default to show an entire day, from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., but you can narrow down the time span to whatever period you want to see. All the data points from that tracker's movements during that time period will be shown on the map. In this example, we have our core settings set to record the tracker's location every 30 seconds, so each of these points is 30 seconds apart. If you click on a point, you'll see what time it was recorded, the speed the vehicle was traveling, and how many passengers were on board at the time. For this demo route, we actually had the person with the tracker walking, which is why the speed limits are so low. Below the map, you'll see the passenger count activity for that time period if you have the passenger count feature enabled and the driver was counting passengers. You'll see how many people got on and off at each stop, and how many total passengers remained on board at the end of the stop. You can export this passenger log in a CSV file that can be opened in a spreadsheet program like Microsoft Excel. This can be very useful if you're interested in finding out which stops tend to pick up the most passengers, how many passengers were picked up in a given period, and where the most people are getting off. This can help guide your decisions about where to place stops or when and where to add additional vehicle support. Let's take a look at another one. You can click on the Show or Hide Lines button to show your route lines on the map, and click on the Show or Hide Markers button to show your markers on the map. In this case, we can see that the vehicle didn't follow any designated route. It started off cruising through downtown and then jumped on the freeway and drove off. Based on the speed threshold you set in your core settings, you'll also see an indication on your travel histories anytime a vehicle was exceeding your designated speed limit. When a vehicle is traveling above the speed you've chosen, that data point will display on the travel history in red. In this example, we had the notification speed limit set to 35 miles per hour, so any point where the vehicle was going faster than that is shown in red. This gives you a nice at-a-glance view of whether your drivers are respecting speed limits, even if you choose not to receive text or email notifications. These travel history logs can tell you how long it takes between each stop, whether vehicles are sticking to their routes, if drivers are taking unauthorized or extended breaks or detours, and whether drivers are respecting speed limits. In addition to travel history and reporting, MyTrax GPS gives you the option of receiving notifications via text or email if a vehicle exceeds a certain speed limit, which you'll be able to designate. When you set up your core settings, you'll be able to turn on email and/or text notifications and enter the email addresses and phone numbers to which you want alerts to be sent. Please note that there's an additional $10 fee per month for the text notification option, which allows for unlimited text. You would then designate the speed threshold that would trigger an alert notification and how often you want MyTrax to note a tracker's traveling speed. We think every 5 minutes is a good interval to give you a pulse on any excessive speeds without bombarding you with messages every minute. If a vehicle is exceeding the established speed threshold when MyTrax checks in, your designated recipients will receive an email notification like this, or a text notification like this, depending on your settings. Using the reporting and notification options with MyTrax GPS is totally optional, but you may find it useful to be able to review tracker data and look at things like whether your drivers are sticking to their routes, whether your drivers are staying under the speed limit you've designated, which stops tend to pick up the most passengers, how many passengers are picked up in a given period, how long it takes between stops, and how long it takes to complete a full run of a route. And it's all at your fingertips with MyTrax GPS.